All right, let's go back to the breaking news. A little earlier tonight, the African Transformation Movement, the ATM, has filed papers with the Constitutional Court to oppose President Cyril Ramaphosa's Section 89 review application. Now, just to remind you that the ATM asked Parliament to start a process which could lead to the ultimate impeachment of the president. It is a process. So it began with that expert panel finding whether or not there's a prima facie case against the president, seemingly a case. And it said categorically, yes, the president seems to have been derelict in his constitutional duties. One of the findings was that he had other business, other paid work, which is against the Constitution and his own words when he said he would set up a blind trust. However, he has gone to the Constitutional Court to take that on review. So the ATM now approaching the same court. Let's speak to ATM spokesperson, and that is Zama Ntshona. Thank you for being with us. Tell us what your problem is with the president's review application.
Thank you so much. Good evening to you and your viewers. Number one, the president goes around making all kinds of admissions. When he was closing the Limpopo conference, he says, I'm a farmer, I sell animals, the money from my farm, the proceeds of a game sale. And that is in direct contravention of Section 96, subsection 2A of the Constitution of the Executive Members Act, to be more exact, read with Section 83. And it is very clear. Members of the cabinet, the president included, must not have other paid work. Now, when the independent panel finds as such, he is now acting surprised and ready to take it on review. He made a second admission that he did not report the matter to a DPCI office as required by the PRECA Act, Section 34, subsection 1, and instead of that, he instructed Mr. Rode to actually go and investigate a private matter. And when the independent panel finds as such, he is surprised. Why is he surprised? So it is one, as a matter of accountability. This is why the African Transformation Movement, using Rule 129 went to the National Assembly to institute a Section 89 impeachment process. It was in the line of accountability. Now, when the president, every opportunity he gets, he runs around, moving away from being accountable to the people of this country. In fact, he forgets that when he started his term, he said, send me. When you are sent by the people, you must come back and account to the people. When you have done wrong, sent by the people, you must come back and account to the people. It is in line of that we as the African Transformation Movement, we say in the name of accountability, we shall not look at the president making a mockery of the Section 89 impeachment process and its independent panel, for it is found in accordance with his admission.
Yeah. But, Mr. Ntshona, if you are so confident that what the president has done is against the law and against the Constitution, and that is glaringly obvious, then surely the Constitutional Court will find that. Why do you have to be part of the process?
Because we were named fifth respondents, number one. When you look at the court papers, we're named fifth respondents. And this is not done even in the capacity of the party. It goes straight to the president. He named the Honorable Vuyo Zungula, the president of the African Transformation Movement, as the fifth respondent in those papers. So even if we wanted to allow this issue to occur without us interfering in inverted commas, still we are named. He placed us there. Over and above that, we can't run away from the fact that this is an ATM instituted, initiated process. Yeah. So it is within in guarding the process that we must make sure that accountability actually becomes a reality.
All right, reading your president's affidavit, it sounds like there's also an issue about whether or not the expert panel report can even be reviewed. If it's an opinion, can it be reviewed in legal terms like a judgment? So while that plays out, so that is going to the court, you're also arguing whether the president should have direct access to the Constitutional Court or not. What's going to happen tomorrow in Parliament in the interim?
Ideally, if we were not talking about what has just happened, ideally we were going to look at a parliamentary process that ideally should have adopted the report. Not only that, see to it that it makes way for the establishment of a committee that will look into the gross violations of the Executive Members Ethics Act, the PRECA Act, the conflict of interest between the president as a president and as a businessman, the unlawful instruction which he actually uttered, and actually do accordingly. Eventually, that particular committee must find that, yes, it is not just a question of the president has something to answer as suggested by the independent panel, but that particular committee must come to a conclusion that will say the president is guilty and therefore impeachment is warranted.
Okay, Ms. Ntshona, that is your ideal world. The ANC is likely to vote that this expert panel report goes no further. Then what? Say the President's Constitutional Court review fails and you are successful in stopping that. Could this matter return to Parliament at a later stage? What are your plans?
The African Transformation Movement, one of the things that we have written 2 letters since the last time the Speaker said there couldn't be a secret ballot. And we have cited, I think it is the 3rd last paragraph of her letter, where she was citing the suitability of the environment. That does not warrant a secret ballot. But following the NEC meeting, the press after that, and the utterances of the chairperson of that movement, you can clearly see that they are on to take away the rights of members of Parliament. You would know that people are not taking their vows in Parliament as a group, but people take their vows as independent individuals with integrity, with the power to think and the power to do. And we've always argued that the environment is not conducive for the protection of lives and the protection of livelihoods. And we've always argued that. Now, with the ultimatum that was given by the chairperson, Mr. Gwede Mandasha, you see that members of Parliament are not going to be able to execute. This is why we've written to the Speaker once again, saying, Speaker, give us a secret ballot in protection of the members of Parliament. Because when you do that, you then allow democracy to be at play, and also you allow the effectiveness of the National Assembly in holding the president accountable.
All right.
Now, this is what we have done as the African Transformation Movement. Even tomorrow, we are waiting to see if the Speaker would actually, without being coerced, would actually act in good faith in protection of members of Parliament.
All right, thank you very much. And ATM spokesperson Zama Ntshona. And remember, if that vote is not secret, we will know how the parliamentarians vote tomorrow, whether or not they personally accept the report. But the ANC has issued essentially a directive to its own members to vote against the adoption of that report. We'll see if anyone defies the party, as predicted by one of our analysts over the weekend.